The story of the Daragon brothers, Gav and Jori, begins in their work as explorers, in charge of finding and mapping new hyperspace routes. However, they are not the best at it, since their missions have failed and their only possession, their ship, the Starbreaker 12, is devastated. Totally bankrupt, the Daragon brothers hope to be able to get credits through the routes they have already discovered, such as the Goluth Corridor. But the lack of explorer traffic through the hyperlane is due to how dangerous it is. However, the bad news wouldn't end for Gav and Jori. Schubert, merchant lord active in the Koro system from Sinagar's main commerce sector, decides to use the new route to increase his profits by sending his drone ship, the Sadow 5, along the hyperspace. Unfortunately, everything ends badly because the Sadow 5 is destroyed by a solar flare, resulting in the loss of all cargo. Schubert, furious at what happened, decides to investigate who mapped the route to collect the lost credits from him. Gav and Jori's life is in critical situation, living on the streets of the city Sinagar after being forced to sell all their personal possessions, except their Starbreaker 12, their only beacon of hope. Meanwhile, the Empress Theta makes a parade to celebrate the victory in the unification wars of Colorist, and from afar, Jori sees everyone's happiness. She sees the imposing figures of the two Jedi that accompany the Empress, Mehmet Nadil, the faithful advisor, and Odan Ur, remembering and regretting not having completed the Jedi training with his brother that they had in the past, because both tested height with force potential. Gav goes to inspect the repairs to his ship. However, Arva wouldn't give him his ship without having paid for all the repairs. Schubert and his right-hand man locate the brothers and want their revenge. They hire a group of bounty hunters to hunt down and end the lives of Gav and Jori. The bounty hunters demonstrate their lethality by finding the Daragon brothers. Gav and Jori defend themselves as best they can and regret not having taken that Jedi training in the past. But if the Force is in all things, it's never too late. Them being rescued by Mehmet Nadil and Odan Ur. Fear overcomes the two brothers and they run away from the Jedi. Willing to bet everything, win or die, they return for their ship and decide to make one more foray in search of a hyperlane. The final conclusion would be glory or death. They had nothing left. Jori punched random numbers into the ship's computer and they jumped into the void of space. They jumped into the unknown. The Starbreaker 12 leaves hyperspace, reaching little explored areas. The brothers' blind jump sent them to a place unknown to them, unknown to everyone in the galaxy, since they realized that no one had mapped that route, hoping to be able to charge something for their new discovery. Jori and Gav could not have arrived at a better time to the Holocron system, home to the planet Corrivan, the homeworld of the Sith, where the funeral of the last Dark Lord of the Sith, Carrasco, is being held. The funeral procession is being led by a powerful Sith Lord named Ludo Kressh. Ludo's rival, Naga Sadow, arrives at the ceremony. However, the enmity between the two is palpable, with Ludo accusing the Sith of being reckless and dangerous, having led rebellions in the past. Both Sith long for the place left by Carrasco, but they have different perspectives. Ludo Kressh is a supporter of the non-expansionist idea, maintaining the ideology of Carrasco. Naga Sadow watches over an expansionist doctrine, is tired of living off old victories, and will not let the flame that his ancestors, the Dark Jedi, become extinct due to the conformity of the Sith. Gav and Jori Daragon arrive in the orbit of Corrivan. With no turning back, they need to explore the new route they have drawn, since, if it can be used for commercial purposes, the economic benefits for them can be enormous, so they enter the planet. The tension between Kressh and Sadow ends in a deadly showdown to see who takes the title of Dark Lord of the Sith. Ludo Kressh fights for the Sith Empire and accuses Naga Sadow of fighting out of his selfishness. However, Naga Sadow proclaims to fight for the future of the Sith. A fierce battle takes place within the sacred chambers of the former Dark Lord of the Sith, neither of two giving in to the other. Despite suffering serious battle injuries, this battle would have ended with one of the two dead, if not for the intervention of the Dark Lord himself. The change of the dead cannot stop Marka Ragnos, not when all the forces of the dark side demand that he speak. Marka Ragnos reminds them of their origin story. Their blood comes from their ancestors, the fallen Jedi, and how they formed the Sith Empire despite the odds. He reaffirms that despite their interbreeding between human Jedi and Sith purebloods, the Sith Empire is rich and powerful and battles must be chosen. The fate of the Sith hangs in balance. Meanwhile, on the planet Koros, inside the palace of the Empress Theta, the Jedi Odan-Ur experiences something peculiar, visions about an ancient evil. While heading with the Empress, he sees Arva file a complaint against the Daragon brothers from fraud and theft. Odan-Ur explains to the Empress about his visions and supplements the description with details about ancient legends he had studied about a group of fallen Jedi in the 100-Year Darkness event. Empress Theta, faced with such a serious news, tells the Jedi that she will speak about that topic on Coruscant when she goes in the next few days. Already inside Corrivan, the Starbreaker 12 lands. The Daragon brothers, excited and relieved by their discovery, get off of the ship to explore and present themselves to the natives of the planet. However, the welcome is not friendly. Seeing that the arrival of these two individuals could be the precursor to an possible invasion, enemies, Ludo Kressh and Naga Sadow, listen to Marka Ragnos and team up to plan their next moves for the benefit of the Sith. Ziost, the capital world of the Sith, a neutral place where the descendants of the exiled Jedi can engage in negotiations and gather. It's here that the Dark Lord of the Sith meets with his advisors to plan for the benefit of the Sith, but with the departure of Marka Ragnos, there are no allies, only contenders. The essential topic to discuss within the Sith Council is the external threat that came to Corrivan. Ludo Kressh and Naga Sadow propose their two different perspectives. Ludo proposes eliminating the foreigners and leaving no trace of their existence, since they may be spies of a possible future invasion. But Naga Sadow sees this as a golden opportunity to expand the Sith Empire to hundreds of worlds. The presence of Marka Ragnos' enemy, Simus, the Sith who was beheaded by Ragnos, is key to defining a response. The sentence was ready. Gav and Jori would be executed due to the high risk they are for the Sith. For Naga Sadow, the fate of the Daragon seems inappropriate, since he knows that he can use them as scapegoats for his plan, so he would take action on the matter. The first step of Naga Sadow's strategy would be to infiltrate the Massassi subordinates into the spaceport of Zio's fortress, where the Starbreaker 12 was located, and steal one of the weapons the humans had brought with them. Afterwards, at the hour of deepest quiet, deepest darkness, a small group of Sith, led by Naga Sadow, infiltrated Zio's fortress. Determined to reach his goal, the Sith would not even leave survivors. He could not leave witnesses who can tell the truth about the perpetrator of the attack. Hope for survival for the Daragon brothers comes before them in the form of Naga Sadow, where Gav and Jori escape with the Sith. Upon leaving the cell, seeing the massacre, he meets with Simus, legendary Sith from the time of Mark Arachnus. However, Naga Sadow, committed to his cause, knows that he must not leave any witness. After the attack, an emergency meeting is held at Sadow's fortress. The topic at hand is the escape of the prisoners, where the Sith Lords are concerned because everything seems to indicate that it was a rescue by the Republic, because the weapons used in the escape were humans' weapons. Naga Sadow puts the final touch on his plan with a speech about the approaching danger, assuring that the Republic is an imminent enemy and they have to attack first. Ludo Kressh doesn't believe a single word, but all the things on the console do believe in the threat. Ludo Kressh, faced with the end, decides to leave. And finally, everyone within the council agrees to make Naga Sadow their new leader, the new Dark Lord of the Sith, the one who will guide them to conquer the galaxy. On the planet Cursant, Empress Teta speaks in front of the Senate about the threat that Odan-Ur saw. Teta narrates the vision of her trusted Jedi, a Sith of evil that the Dark Jedi of the past had sown, and that the cultivation had already borne fruit in a distant part of the galaxy. Despite this, the High Command of the Republic doesn't believe her. They don't accept a mere vision as something true, so the warning is not taken as real, but the Empress knows that she must remain alert. Naga Sadow begins the next phase of his expansionist plan. He keeps Gav Daragon sheltered in one of his two fortresses, where the human is practicing with an amulet that Sadow had given him, since he had seen strong potential in Gav. The Sith congratulates and convinces Gav to continue practicing and stay in the fortress for his safety. On the other hand, Naga Sadow does the same in the second fortress with Jori, convincing her that the best place for her to be was in the fortress. For Naga Sadow, the only element that separated him from total power was Ludo Kressh, so he would have to eliminate him. Sadow once again attacked Siles and the Sith and stole the Starbreaker 12, but when Naga Sadow's allies attacked, they left the Dark Lord of the Sith's emblem on the ground. News of the attack would reach Ludo Kressh, who initially thought it was Republic soldiers. However, he soon discovers the emblem of Naga Sadow. Realizing that Naga had staged a false attack in order to seize power, Kressh calls together his fellow Sith Lords, demanding that they prepare troops for an attack on Sadow's fortress. Days after the attack, Sadow returns to Jori and gives her an hologram with a message from her brother Gav. Gav reveals that Sadow has taught him unique abilities and that the Sith has arranged for him to return to the Galactic Republic. The Dark Lord of the Sith shows Jori the Starbreaker 12 arranged so she can leave. However, Ludo Kresh's army attacks the Dark Lord's fortress. Although Jori is scared, Naga Sadow shows no concern as it is all part of his plan. And this is how the Battle of Khar Delba began, where Ludo Kresh's forces, along with his allies, attacked the false Naga Sadow fortress, taking advantage of the surprise factor and determined to end the life of the Dark Lord of the Sith. As Naga Sadow's stronghold defense faces off against Ludo Kresh's fleet, the Sith convinces Jori to escape aboard the Starbreaker 12 and return home. Despite Jori refusing to abandon her brother, Sadow convinces her as she is in danger and Ludo Kressh is coming for her. All this being part of Naga Sadow's plan. Finally, Jori agrees and escapes in her ship. Calculating the coordinates, she jumps into hyperspace and heads to the Republic. From the other Naga Sadow fortress where Gav takes refuge, the surprise attack on Ludo Kressh would come. Hundreds of ships would support the Dark Lord of the Sith. Through a communication, Naga Sadow confesses to his enemy that everything had been a trap, causing the defeat of Ludo Kressh, giving the victory of the Battle of Khar Delba to Naga Sadow. Meanwhile, Gav slowly understands his Sith abilities and is glad that Jori has escaped on Starbreaker 12, as he was able to monitor the battle from afar. Naga Sadow's plan went smoothly. The Sith Empire will grow as large as the ambitions of the Dark Lord of the Sith allow. With Ludo Kressh partially eliminated from the path, and thanks to Jori Daragon's return to her home, the latter would be the missing link to initiate the Republic's attack, as she will inadvertently lead Naga Sadow to the exact location, this thanks to a tracker that the Sith placed on Starbreaker 12.